Hey everyone, welcome to another TeePublic video. In today's video, we're going to be talking about TeePublic's tag directory, which is essentially a tag list that TeePublic gives to the public. Now, before we even get into this and we start talking about all of this kind of stuff, I want to call your attention to the description box. We have a link in the description that says TeePublic from Beginner to Boss playlist or free TeePublic playlist. If you click on that link, it's going to take you to the TeePublic playlist page. That playlist is going to be the playlist for all the different TeePublic informational-based videos that we put up. So different tutorials, different advice, different information. And it's good that if you're watching this in a week or a month or a year from now, it's good to watch all that content before you jump into the TeePublic course, okay? I know a lot of people are going to maybe be interested into the TeePublic course. I'm going to recommend that you, especially if you're watching this now and you have zero experience with TeePublic, this is going to be the series that you watch, and all these videos will be added with time. The more videos we add, the more videos you're going to see in the playlist. So click the link in the description to watch the playlist. Obviously, you don't have to do that now, but just be aware of that the playlist exists and we have a bunch of different TeePublic videos before you hop right into the TeePublic course, all right? So now let's get into this tagging directory. So to be clear, TeePublic actually has a few different tag directories for a different purpose, and I'll explain what I mean. The first tag directory is the main tag directory that is the biggest list by far. And you can see here, there's just tons and tons of tags here. I mean, I wouldn't know the number, but I'm going to say at least over 150 tags. You can see there's 4 columns here, and we just got a bunch of rows. But these are tags that are, in our opinion, or in my opinion, are frequently used for the time being. And what I mean by that is, obviously, these lists can change a year, a week, a month from now. And what I've noticed is that based on different trends and different eras of time, these tags definitely do change. I'll give you a quick example. If you know, there's a series called Lord of the Rings that's going on right now. It's actually a really good series. I'm starting to watch it. I would actually think it's a little bit better of a game than the new Game of Thrones, but you guys let me know. But there's the tag Lord of the Rings right here. Now, why do you think that this tag directory actually exists? Now, obviously, there are a few tag directories, the hoodie, the tank top, the wall art, etc. What we tend to find is that the tag directory between, for example, t-shirt and sticker are almost in the same. They're very, very close, if not the same. The reason why I say that is because if you're familiar with the way that TeePublic uploading works, is that you get to put your one piece of art, right, and attach it to tags and attach that to multiple products. So what I mean by that is, especially if you've never uploaded to TeePublic before, I'll just kind of give you an explanation here. Here is your image. Let's say this is your design, okay? Whatever way you choose to design. When you have your design, you have a list of tags, right? You have a list of tags. Then what you do is you adapt these products to, the list of tags on the design, create a product, and that product is put on different things, whether it be like a t-shirt, a hoodie, you know, like all these different things. And I'm trying to draw here. You could see how bad I'm an artist, but you could see the different concepts here. So you have t-shirt, you have hoodie, you have stickers, right? So you have a whole bunch of different things, and these all products share the same tags. So if a tag was to exist on one product, it's probably going to exist on its other as well. So that's just to be clear about that. Now, that's kind of the explanation as to why for example, the wall art directory might be very similar to the tapestry directory, right? Almost the same. Now, these are lists, in my opinion, like I said, for tags that are increasing in frequency. Specifically what TeePublic says here, and they don't really give us much, is that TeePublic below, the directory below has automatically generated based on tag usage. So what that means is that based on the tag usage, the amount of tags that are being used, these are the tags that appear. So immediately in my head, I think of quantity. I think of frequency. And what they also say is they're based on tag usage by third-party designers, which are us as people, right? We're designers on TeePublic. It's not like TeePublic itself is creating these designs, but it's us. TeePublic is not affiliated with any person shown or organization referred to below. Now, the thing that's interesting about these directories is you could get a very clear idea of the type of things that TeePublic allows. Now, I know in the last video we talked about how TeePublic might be a no-nonsense community where you have to be approved into the TeePublic essentially ecosystem to rank products on the marketplace. However, you could look here, there are some things that clearly are trademark, copyrighted, and if you had them on your own website, you can make the argument that you could get in trouble for. So, for example, Lord of the Rings, and I'll use Lord of the Rings as an example. I can make the argument that these designs, or just even using the keyword Lord of the Rings, can somewhat infringe on the Lord of the Rings business, right? That whole business model, the TV series, I'm sure they sell merch, I'm sure they do a lot of different things. Just using that keyword alone, I mean, technically, if it's trademarked, which it probably is, they have the right to make sure that doesn't exist on your website. But yet, multi-million-dollar company, TeePublic, has it, and it exists, which is a different conversation for a different time in a different video. But I wanted to call your attention to these tags here, and these tags are what we can call emerging marketplaces, merging large marketplaces, and 9 times out of 10, by the time they get listed into this tag directory, they're already well known, they're already, they're already focused on, they're already, I guess you could say, used and abused in a way. Because you got to think of things like, for example, let's use Ukraine. Ukraine is definitely in this list. And you remember the Ukraine drama that's been going on. It's not drama, it's actually very serious. The things that have been going on in Ukraine, which is absolutely terrible, and I think it's really bad for the world in general, but the things that are going on with Ukraine has been for a little while now, and many months, but yet it is still here. So if you focus on creating designs from tags that are in this list, you might want to think twice. They might be niches, or they might be areas of tags that might have been already saturated. So you want to pay attention to that. Now, as a general rule, if you're comparing TeePublic to Redbubble, because I know a lot of people who watch this channel are on Redbubble, if you are comparing TeePublic to Redbubble, I don't really want you to do that too much, because you have to remember that even though Redbubble owns TeePublic, there's still different marketplaces and they're different platforms. And one of the biggest things that makes TeePublic different than Redbubble is the allowance or the admittance of you on the marketplace, of selling on the marketplace. Do you remember what we talked about yesterday in yesterday's video? And you could find it in the playlist. We spoke specifically about getting approved into the marketplace. And getting approved into the marketplace is a process where you just click on a button and you submit all your work for approval. It doesn't actually work that way. TeePublic has to manually look at you as a seller and say, you know what, we want this person to be allowed into our ecosystem in a way. And once again, I showed how I did that in my TeePublic course. If you're interested, and check it out, the link will be in the description. But regardless, getting into with these tags, you want to be aware that they could potentially be niche heavy. I personally would get into these tags if I knew that my designs were head and shoulders above the rest. So for example, this Philadelphia Eagles niche, right? Football team, right? I would get into this niche if I knew that my designs would potentially be able to be better than a lot of the competition. Now, you could see here some of these designs. They're really, really good designs. It's hard to compete with things like this. And 9 times out of 10, when you see different tags in the directory here, they have not only been used, but they're higher competition. And with higher competition comes a greater level of skill. And that's something to be aware of as well, is that when there's more competition, the reality is that when there's more people doing things, the skill quality goes up, and that's just natural in any circumstance, not just in print on demand. Now, I want to call your attention to different directories that actually exist, and I call these mini lists. Let's go ahead and check over to the TeePublic homepage, and I'm going to do a random search for the keyword ocean. Okay, just a random search. So we have the keyword ocean here. Now, I want to call your attention also to the left-hand side of these lists, and at the end of this case and stickers list, we have a section called related tags. This is a section that TeePublic tells you what is related, but I want you to understand how they are related as opposed to just knowing that they exist, because this is where the difference comes into play, where you actually understand the TeePublic platform versus you're just going with the flow. People who just go with the flow create designs and hope that they sell. People that understand how the TeePublic algorithm works are the ones that actually make the money at the end of the day. So this related section of tags, you want to think of how these tags are populated. And the way these tags are populated, I'll just let you know, is that TeePublic is always acquiring data. Every single time somebody creates a design, they are acquiring data. And each design has a certain set of data. And what that data is the tags in that design. Now, I'll just give you an example. If we go over here and scroll down, there are certain tags here. We have the keyword ocean, we have the keyword beach, we have the keyword ocean life, oceans, sea, sea life, storm, summer, water. Now, if we look over here to the left-hand side, do we see any of those keywords basically double up? Well, we have the keyword ocean, that's the one that we searched for. We have the keyword sea, right? And sea also exists here. Let's see what else. We have summer. Does summer exist? Nope. Well, actually, yes, it is. I thought it didn't, but yes, it does. Does the keyword water exist? And yes, it does. Does the keyword vacation exist? No, it doesn't. Does the keyword fish or fishing or even surfing? No, it doesn't. So you could see here that there are indeed, related keywords, right? And they double up somewhat, but there are also some keywords that don't show up. Now, if you see here right under the designers applied tags, Redbubble applied some tags as well that are separate from designer applied tags, which are customers also search tags. Now, these customer also search tags are ever changing. They always change based on the different things that TeePublic deems relevant to the topic of conversation. Now, if we just look at here about some of these keywords, we have the keyword ocean hoodies, ocean long sleeves, t-shirts, vacation, fish, surfing, fishing, animal, nature, newest t-shirts. Now, let's just take a look at some of these keywords like fish or surfing or fishing. All of these keywords, even the keyword animal, exists here in the related tags. So what we have here is we have a perfect synergy between the designer's chosen keywords and what TeePublic deems relevant to the topics of conversation. And all of this data is acquired and accumulated simply through previous works of art. So every other design that comes up, right, that include keywords like the keyword ocean or sea life or oceans, TeePublic on a very deep level has understandings of each keyword. So for example, the keyword ocean, right, is formed based on association with previous designs that are uploaded to hundreds, if not thousands of designs that include certain keywords, right? So let's just say this is a design, this is a design, this is a design, and this is a design. And they also all include the keyword ocean, right? But let's say as well that this design that includes the keyword ocean includes other keywords like the keyword sea. And let's say this one includes sea, this one includes sea, and this one includes sea. Well then, mathematically speaking, right, TeePublic knows that 3 out of 4 designs, right, from the newer designs also include the keyword sea. And from that analysis, the keyword ocean is therefore similar or related to the keyword see. And that's essentially how these keywords are created. And this is how TeePublic on a smaller level understands algorithms and how understands essentially related keywords. Not understands algorithms, but understands related keywords through algorithms. And that's essentially what algorithms are. At the end of the day, algorithms are these mathematical formulas that help create an outcome. Now, you can see how amazing that this is that an algorithm can not only understand particular concepts, but because of the formulas, form matches for end users and end consumers to show what consumers at the end of the day want. Now, a common question that might come up is that people might say, well, can I just, copy these related tags and just hope that it works out? The first answer is absolutely not. And there's two reasons for this. The first answer is that these quote-unquote related tags can somewhat change. Now, you might say, well, how is that possible? Well, if you have a true understanding of this concept that TeePublic finds related keywords, then you would understand that these keywords are ever-changing. Now, why is that? Well, imagine in a hypothetical situation where there are certain new keywords that are associated with the keyword ocean, right? Now, this is not the best example because ocean is evergreen and it's always being searched for, and it's always understood that there are certain similarities to the keyword ocean. But let's just say there's a new keyword that comes up, like let's say the word tsunami. For example, let's say in the history or in the world, a tsunami hits a certain country. So like let's say tsunami hits Japan, okay? And it hits a certain city, right? What might happen is there might be people who are creating designs, right, to support the tsunami of the people that hit Japan. They might write the name of the city, and they might add the city name in the tags. Well, over time, that city name will start appearing in the tags. But the truth is that it doesn't actually relate to an ocean. It's just a concept or a keyword that's being frequently used. So the first answer is no, because keywords are ever changing, and if you add the wrong keywords, thinking that just because they're related that you deserve to make money off of them, that's a false idea. You're creating a fallacy in your mind that you're thinking it's going to result in profits. It's actually not. That's the first thing. The second thing is that just because you add related keywords, it doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to get the attention that you need to get enough sales. Now, I want you to think of what a conversion rate is. A conversion rate just simply means how many people out of 100 can you convert. So let's say your website has, or your product has 50 visitors. Out of 50 visitors, if one person becomes a customer, then you have a 2% conversion rate, right? Because 1 out of 50 is 2%. Let's say you have 1,000 people visit your website and 10 people purchase. Well, then that means you have a 1% conversion rate, right? Because 10 times 100, right, is 1,000. So the whole point here is that you want to figure out what the conversion rate is. And on average, through the internet, the conversion rate can be about 1.5% on average. We see even as high as 2%, but the numbers have been frequently declining for the past 5-6 years on the internet. But let's just say your conversion rate is 1.5%. That means you're going to need about 100 visitors, anywhere from 100 to 150 visitors to get your first sale. Well, if you add keywords that are related, that are frequently used to your design, you might not necessarily get enough traffic because there's so much competition in these keywords. So you want to take a look and have a general ideology and have a general knowledge about how much competition there's going to be. Now, I want to share with you a little thing that I like, and what I really like to do is I like to understand what is the search volume around certain keywords. So you could do this with any kind of free tool like Google Keyword Planner, or you can get Ubersuggest. I'm just going to go on my Vivaldi browser. I'll just show you guys how I set this up. And I like to open up a second browser like this and just click on my Redbubble Pro tool here. and I'll perform a search. Now, this tool is for Redbubble. It's not for TeePublic, but using this tool, I get to see the Google searches, the amount of Google searches. Now, the reason why Google matters to me so much is a lot of my traffic on TeePublic comes through Google. And for me specifically, I categorize designs in two different ways. Now, I talk about this more in the TeePublic course of my categorization, especially because we're updating TeePublic course and there's a lot of content there. But two main ways that I essentially categorize different designs on TeePublic. I have designs that are what I call search-based designs, where the main focus to get Google traffic. And then I have other kind of designs where the main focus is traffic in TeePublic. So, for example, if you were to go for a trend-based design, like let's say the whole Ukraine thing, and people are making money off Ukraine, if you're going to do that, like supporting Ukraine, we stand with Ukraine, all these things, that most likely, especially if you're going to be posting in the beginning of that whole situation, that most likely is not going to be search-based design initially, because you're banking on the hope that people who are in TeePublic will search for something like that. So let's go ahead and use this example here, and I'll just drag this to the right-hand side. And let's use the example of this ocean, right? If I was to use specific relevant keywords, like let's say the word fishing, right? If I just use the word fishing, let's just see a general search, how much competition within Google, not anything else, because once again, this is a Redbubble tool, but within Google itself, it gets 2.7 million searches a month. So let's go ahead and downgrade this a little bit, and let's just type in t-shirt, for example, or shirt, fishing shirt. We'll give that a second. Now, there's a lot of data here around Redbubble, but I'm not concerned with that so much right now. I'm just concerned with just the search. So you can see here how that decreases. And the difficulty is relatively high for a fishing shirt. So for me, the secondary keywords that I have, that's not my main keyword. Now remember, secondary and main are two very important concepts. We talk about this in the TeePublic course. Like I said, if you want to learn more about this, check this out. But for secondary keywords, I wouldn't necessarily use the keyword fishing for it, although it is a related keyword. And let's just say I had a limited amount of spots for the amount of tags that I have, I would first want to get my specific keywords out of the way to hopefully end up appearing for specific search. And we can validate this, right? This 40,000 Google searches, 40,500 high difficulty. I can take a look at this and type in the word fishing. And I could see that there's going to be a lot of competition for the keyword fishing, right? A ton of competition. I can go to page 50, right? And a good way to measure this, and this is a good way, and we're going to set up a different video on this, but you could see here, I go to page 50, there's still fishing related designs, which just goes to show how competitive this is, okay? So that's the second keyword directory list. The next directory keyword list or tag list that I want to show you is whenever I click on any of these, I guess you could say categories here, like adult apparel, kids apparel, whatever it's called. If I click on kids apparel, I want to show you here, there's a section here that says top tags. Now, when they say top tags, these are not necessarily the top tags for sellers, but for customers. Now, you got to remember the psychology is much different. The top tags for a customer is where a consumer is going to look for a design that they potentially might be interested in. And because where the state of the world is right now, people want specific designs with these tags, right? Now, there's probably a good way that they weigh this out. There's two probably different ways. The first method, or the first way, is they first look at the designs that are created in frequency. And out of all those designs, they take the most frequent tags and list them up here. That's one option. The second potential option is they take the designs that are in frequency but measure it in accordance to the amount of sales that actually exist. So for example, let's just say it's Halloween season and a lot of people are tagging the word candy corn. If candy corn is being used very frequently, it doesn't necessarily mean it's going to be used here, but it could generate potentially more sales. Remember that TeePublic is a profitable based company. They want to make money. They're not a charity. They're focused on studying human behavior and presenting what humans want in front of their eyes. And in this case, Halloween is a top tag, which completely makes sense. We're coming at the end of September here. October is quickly approaching, and people are probably looking for Halloween-based shirts. And they're actually probably buying these shirts, and not just shirts, but stickers and hoodies and all kinds of different things on TeePublic. And because they're buying them and they're actually tagged frequently, then it deserves to be in the top tags. Now, I want you to take a look at something. We have the keyword Halloween, cat, Christmas, etc. But if we go back to our tag directory and take a look at some of these tags, let's go ahead and compare some of this stuff. We have Halloween. Well, Halloween is the very first one here. We have the keyword cat. Cat is the first one here. We have the keyword Christmas. Christmas is the first one here. We have the keyword vintage. Vintage is the first one here. We have the keyword crystal module, right? Crystal module is here. So really what this goes to show, and this validates our initial kind of whole opinion of this, is that with TeePublic is not only going to present the tags that are frequently being used, but they're going to present the tags that are frequently being bought. Now we're going to add a part 2 to this video, the next video, and kind of talk about what this entails and what are the implications of this. But this is once again a video for you to get more comfortable understanding particular concepts around TeePublic. A lot of the times, people just want to jump headfirst into creating without necessarily learning. And what I find is that creates the most frustration at the end of the day. A lot of people are expecting to make hundreds and thousands of dollars, and they get confused as to why they're not. When I released a video showing a screenshot of how much I made on TeePublic up until that point, a lot of people thought it was a hoax. Even in fact, a lot of people thought they wanted me to explain like how I got there. And I made a video explaining that right out the gate, I was doing well with TeePublic because I understood the algorithms. I understood the concepts within TeePublic. Now, with that being said, something that I always say is if you understand the concepts within a specific algorithm, the best thing you can do is go out and create. The worst thing that you could do if you don't understand is go out and create, because you're wasting your time. So the best thing you could do, like I said, is understand, and hopefully you'll stay consistent with the TeePublic playlist and continue to watch and continue to perform well. All right, I'll talk to you guys later. Thank you guys for watching. Peace out. Bye.